Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Today I want to talk about the Daryl Dixon teaser we got the other day. Kind of break it down. There's a few frames. Again, it's just a little, I think, 30-second teaser. I imagine we will be getting these probably up until the premiere of the third season, and just trying to, I guess, keep the Walking Dead hype alive as much as possible, considering it's definitely not what it used to be, and Daryl Dixon has not been, in my opinion, performing as well as I would have hoped, and the season, or at least last season, was just not anything to write home about. Just what they did with characters, how they killed people off, how they sent them running off to the darkness, so we have no idea what actually happened to them. Put them on a plane, send them across the ocean or whatever, so we don't know if they actually make it to their destination. So with this next season, he's in a new situation, new location, and everything, meeting new people. And so I guess my expectations are still very low because I did not really enjoy that last season. I enjoyed the first season; I thought it was pretty good. Met some new interesting people. We got to know them, and then they made the mistake of just killing them off. We were just, we're done with this location. We're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna bring in some of our old characters and introduce us to some new ones, and then just it's just going to go from there. And the writing and everything, just it was not up to par. It was not up to, I guess, old Walking Dead standards, because the Walking Dead is again, it's not what it used to be. The writing and everything, you got too many people putting in their inputs, too many people just behind the scenes pointing and just saying go here, go there. We'll have them say this, and just it's been very disappointing to say the least. But we got this new season of Daryl Dixon come up this fall, and so this is actually, I think, one of two or three teasers we've gotten here in the last few weeks. Like I mentioned, I imagine we'll be seeing more of these as the months go on into the fall season, because right now we're in the middle of Dead City season 2, which has been okay. There has been some disappointment with that too, and I have expressed some disappointments, especially with this last episode, just the way they handled a few of the deaths, because we had like 4 deaths in one episode. And the way that they handled the one in particular, I made my gripes known, so I won't go into it. But if you want to check out the review for the last episode, I will leave a link above so you can go check that out. But jumping into this teaser that we got for Daryl Dixon season 3, it looks like it's going to be interesting to say the least. Excuse me, but we got into the teaser. I only grabbed a handful of frames because small teaser, not really a whole lot to work with. But just with what we're seeing, we got this frame that I grabbed. We're going to meet some interesting people. We got this dude with a bull skull over his head. So we're going to meet probably some very primal, kind of primitive people that have just, I don't know, fallen back on their just most basic instincts and everything, trying to survive the world as it turned into hell on earth, basically. And just adapting a whole new set of rules, more than likely, too. And people they come across is going to be very all primitive and interesting, and just we'll see what happens there. Just it'll be another group that they come across that has their own set of rules, their own way of doing things. Maybe they'll be good people, maybe they won't. We just seem to kind of rinse and repeat with a lot of our plot lines and a lot of our characters and community groups or whatever we come across. So I'm waiting to see what they do with that, if they do anything new, which I'm sadly not counting on. Then we just got a shot of Daryl here with the line that he says, "It's not so great out there in the world." Well, no shit. I mean, the world went to crap and people adapted to it the best they could. And then you have the worst people in existence kind of came to power. They inherited the earth and everything. And they're going to take advantage of it any way possible. Aside from the dead walking the earth, you have some of the worst people imaginable out there in positions of power that would have never been in such in the old world. So that's kind of heavy-handed, I guess, but we'll move on to the next one. We got just this group attacking this little community or whatever, or just we don't know what's going on. I imagine we'll see conflicting groups or just different types of combat, and Daryl getting in the middle of it as he does, because we got him again here loading up this shotgun or rifle while he's got biker dudes charging at him. And I don't know if he's defending this place or defending himself, but just Daryl just seems to find his way to trouble wherever he goes. And I don't know if that's just the formula they want to keep using for this series, or just what they're trying to accomplish with it, or with the characters, and with what I believe will happen with this next season. It's going to be very frustrating to see that more than likely Carol's going to get picked up and disappeared somewhere, and Daryl's going to have to go find her. And I don't know if that's going to, kind of pave the route home, or just what they plan to do with Daryl and just wrapping up his character, because they have to know on some level that this doesn't hold water like it used to. People are kind of over it, they're bored with it, they've definitely lost the viewership and everything. So we will see what happens there. But then we got new characters, of course. We got the actor Stephen Merchant coming in. We've got him because some of the third season is going to take place in London. And we've got this guy coming in. He's a pretty well-known actor. He's been in plenty of things over the years. He was in the British version of The Office. He was in Big Bang Theory. He's been in a lot of things over the years. And I'm calling it now. They're going to kill this guy. It's a trend that they have with these spin-offs, and I bitched about it in my last video, and I bitched about it in other videos too. But we get introduced to these characters, and sometimes they come off as, they should just get rid of this person right now. But then we get to know this person, we get to know some of their history, or just, what they're about, and we actually come to like these characters, much like with Nat and The Ones Who Live. And then they just serve their purpose. They're killed off just to propel the story whatever direction it's trying to go. And it just seems like all these poor bastards that they come across, our main characters come across out in the wild, they come across them and they are dead soon after. So it's just like they should, people out there should avoid these people like the plague. And that's just something that I've become increasingly annoyed with over the course of our spinoffs, because we had Nat, we had Isabel, we had most recently Christos. We didn't get him a lot within Dead City, but we got to start to know him in the last episode, and then they just killed him when he could have been an interesting character. He could have had some depth to him, and they just snuffed him out because it was what they had to do to move the story forward. And I'm calling it right now because very few people actually make it meeting our main characters and actually get to move on. He's going to die in some probably stupid way. He's going to get himself killed, or they're going to get him killed, or just something's going to happen. So I'm already kind of prepared for disappointment for this character, just with how we've seen a lot of our other spin-off characters, supporting characters, come in, and they have the worst luck when they meet our main people, and they end up dead somehow or another. So just prepared for that. And of course, he says, I come in peace. And then we meet Daryl and Carol. He's probably going to provide some form of comedic relief / maybe tragic backstory, or just something going on with this character that he's going to end up dead, and Daryl and Carol are going to usher that in. But like I mentioned, a pretty short teaser, not a whole lot to work with, but I'm keeping hope alive that they will find their way back to decent writing with this character and with this show. I'm not counting down the days to the premiere, that's for sure, and I'm hoping that they find a way to make it interesting again, to make it compelling again, because they just haven't this last go around. The second season was borderline awful, and the whole Laurent thing, I know he's supposed to kind of be an important character. I'm hoping anyways, considering they actually let these people live, that they got up off the ground in their plane and they were gone, that we could possibly see them again. They kind of bring things back around and wrap up his story, and maybe, I'm hoping anyways, this is how it's going to go, that he's actually going to make it to America. He's going to find Rick and tell Rick where Daryl was last at, or they're going to incorporate that somehow. I am hoping. I don't have a lot of faith about it, but I guess that's what we'll have to wait and see, and just how long they intend to drag out these spinoffs, because we hear rumors all the time, Daryl and Dead City supposedly ending after season 4 to kind of wrap up the characters and maybe go into a reunion spinoff and get all of our characters back together, because that's all the fan base is really screaming about anymore. We just want this to kind of be over. We want these characters to be wrapped up, and we want to see everyone get the best possible ending that we can get, because we didn't get it within Walking Dead. The Ones Who Live, of course, was a limited series, and it served its purpose in a sense, but there's still just those open wounds right there that they need to patch up, and they need to get these characters wrapped up, wrap up this part of the universe. And if they want to continue on with The Walking Dead, they need to do it with new characters, new location, new story. And there's just, I guess, no hope of that right now. And it just doesn't look like they really want to, or just they want to kind of milk these characters for all they're worth. But anyways, that's our teaser and my bitching about The Walking Dead. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing, come back to the channel for more content just like this, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.